So another dumb American question, because I watch British shows like Monty Python and stuff, and the Vicar of Dibley. Are you puddles like actually like 5 feet deep?
We've seen them. Like, not every puddle, but like, some puddles are pretty grim. Like,
You can definitely go for a swim.
Like, you'll definitely like if you step in one, at least like 75% of the time, your entire shoe will just get piss wet through.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, is that big ones. I genuinely thought that was just like normal everywhere. Is that just a British
your
thing?
puddles like.
Really?
Oh, okay, well, then like, because that's like just puddles to us, you know, like not 5 foot deep. I've never been. The worst I've ever been to a puddle is like halfway up my shin, which is probably.
Jeez. What?
No.
I mean,
yeah, it's like
get
big.
that back roads maybe, but
yeah,
like
as far as like in a normal street, I mean, you could have a doozy like that, but probably like half a shoe, worst case. No, not this like.
No, more than that.
That's not a puddle. That is
not this urban foot spa type of shit. Jesus.
No, if it's half a shoe deep, that's British summertime. So
that's not even a puddle, bro. That's like.
That's like
a what? Yeah, that's just no.
Someone's
that's
just
not even a puddle.
Like,
yeah.
The thing is, in the US, haven't you like on the side of all your roads? There's like massive drains, isn't there, for the water?
Yeah.
Like really big ones. So in the UK, there isn't that. Or if there is, it's really rare. We only have like the small square grids where it drains. So water drains a lot slowly. So when you're on the road will dip down to like a small grid and not a big box, and then it will just puddle like.
Oh.
You can have them like 6 meters long and like 4 meters wide. So if you drive past,
there's one always around the corner from my house whenever it rains like fairly bad, and I've been walking down there when car. Yeah. I've been walking down there before when it's been like that. It's just every time a car goes past, you're like, please don't be a prick. Like, please don't just get me full of water.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the most terrifying things ever. And it's like multiple times a month. Like, yeah.
Easily. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess our puddles are pretty bad. Oh. You guys.
Puddle game strong in the UK. Got it.
Yeah.
Gosh, didn't expect to be talking about that.
There's so
I
many
love it.
questions. So many.
Well, yeah, keep them up because they're like so fun.
I love that.
Are you guys more sad that Prince Philip died or DMX?
Yeah,
DMX.
Okay, I'm glad that transcended across the globe. Okay, great.
Yeah, anyone that's actually like on a serious note, anyone that's upset that a paedophile and a racist died yesterday, just go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're in that boat. We're not that patriarchal.
I've heard that's kind of a divisive. Like I feel like what I've gathered is some people are into the monarchy and some people think it's hot garbage. That's kind of the vibe. It's very polarizing.
The monarchy.
Basically,
Jesus. 50-50. Like, the only good thing about the monarchy is that like I'm trying to make it sound like that money's the only good thing, but I'm sure we could have money without them on front of it. So there isn't actually a good thing about the monarchy. Like,
there's a lot of corruption. There's definitely a lot of corruption, and there's a reason why Meghan and what is it, Harry? Correct.
Nice one, Kane.
But yeah.
I wondered if there's some truth to like if they're saying that stuff that, and then you've heard like there's always conspiracies like Princess Di and different things that like maybe things are adding up. You know what I mean? That's the vibe.
I have no doubt in my mind. Like no doubt in my mind, 100% of what we know is true, and that's only like a 10th of what happens. Like not to sound like a mad not to sound like some mad tinfoil hat guy, but like you've got me on this one now. Like nothing irritates me more than like the elite and people that stand up for the elite because it's just all BS. And
and the people who are like, oh well, an old guy died. His wife must be so sad and stuff. It's like there's just like there's documenting cases of him just being just like blatantly racist. It's like, just shut the fuck up. Like, how can you just ignore that? It doesn't matter like how like famous you are or how like much of a royal you are and stuff. It's just like fuck off. Nah.
I mean, the way I come back to think about it is like, if he wasn't a royal, would anyone give a shit?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is evidently no.
He would have been cancelled.
Right. I think it's for the sake of integrity of that system. There has to be. I mean, mind you, America has their own flaws here too. We have plenty of shit.
Yeah,
that's what I gather anyway.
Yeah, honestly, like this briefly came up in like me and Kane's friendship group last night. We were talking about it, and I was just like, for the love of God, can we get away from it so we don't end up talking about it for 6 hours and screaming at each other? Because we had like different opinions in our group, and I was just like, this isn't going to end well for any of us. So like, let's move on and just chat shit about something rather than having a serious conversation. Whereas like, but it's hard because I understand why people don't want to believe it or don't want to believe certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think the question that you're probably wanting to ask, but not actually going to ask, is like, we don't give a fuck about the Queen. Like, half the UK doesn't care. You know, like, I didn't even know her name until like 6 months ago. Like, it's we're not that patriarchal. Yeah, I'm being hyperbolic.
I was gonna say,
but like, sure, that like a lot of people obviously do think that the British is like, because we're a small country and it's all run by the monarchy and stuff. It's like, most people don't give a fuck. If you give a fuck, you're like part of like the upper middle class and upper class, and it's like, we don't want to.
I'd argue that you're probably part of the minority there if you do care about it. Like,
now
maybe that's because we're surrounded by people that don't. But out of my experience, like the majority of people actually don't care.
Like, it's also very much to do with the younger group, the younger generation. Like, the older generation obviously care more for this kind of stuff, and they don't see it the way that we see it. So, like, because our generation's so like, we're so nitpicky and we always look into facts, and not many people see the truth. We're kind of the ones who are like, yeah, you might have loved these people for so long, but did you actually know this? We know this kind of stuff because we you know, we've done the research. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
like, it's like you don't care about what their status is. You're just looking at face value versus some people, I think, put their head in the sand because, like, wait, this is like what I grew up with. This is what I should look to as like inspiration or like,
exactly.
Like, at the end of the day, like, are you a good person or not? And if the answer is no, then why should anyone care? Like,
that's exactly.
I think that's why a lot of people, going off on another tangent as usual, I think that's why a lot of people really did get affected by like when Princess Diana died, because it was she seemed like such a sort of outcast of that group, and she seemed like a genuine person compared to the reptiles that live in like Buckingham Palace and stuff. Like,
exactly. It's like what Harry and Meghan, like, I was speaking to somebody the other day and they were talking about how like they've turned their back on the royal family and stuff, and I was just like, all they did was went on an interview and said that the royal family was racist and they don't want any part of that. How is that a bad thing? Like, explain to me how that's a bad thing, sort of thing. But,
and then people started going against Meghan and Harry for saying that. Like, what's that about? Like, you know, that's ridiculous.
Sure.
That just proves how much power they actually have to manipulate people and be like, because, you know, they've said that about us, you know. Let's be honest.
No, that's like a smallest percentage of their power. Like, that's just a small example. Like, can you imagine how much they actually have that we just don't know about? Like, again, I know I've got this tinfoil hat on my head. You can edit one on my head if you want during this editing. But like, honestly, I swear to God, like,
to be fair,
I don't care.
If Meghan and Harry said anything more than they were racist, if they have any more information, they'll probably just get, you know, killed.
The same thing that happened with Princess Diana
thing. So you got to think about it that way. They could be in so much danger for what they've already said. So
the question was, did we care more about DMX dying or Prince Philip dying? DMX we care more about.
Politics. No, I was here for it. It's interesting because, and I'll be honest, like not so much my wife, but like my in-laws, like that side of the family, like they're fascinated by the royal family. And it's weird how like in America, there's like this weird, like not everyone, but there is like this fascination to it. I'm like, and I say it's in a funny way, but like we had a war that we were fighting to prevent that a couple hundred years ago. So like, it's interesting.
I think that's what it is. I think it's all just fascination. At the end of the day, it's not.
You guys have like the president, and then that's like the top, right? There's no like, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's almost like if you just did Parliament with what you have, but there's no other thing. That's it. Like, so, so for example, like Boris would just be at the top. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Let's not talk. Can we just stop talking about politics? Like, I know we're kind of 50% a punk band, but we could just go on for fucking hours if we're talking about politics.
Like, that's why we don't write songs about it, because the songs would be like half an hour long. It'd just be like.
We just wouldn't stop, man.
It'd be like, there'd be so many swear words in it. It'd be like, this isn't even playable on Spotify. Like, you'd have to come with like.
I can see how the parental. And this article doesn't help the people in the 20% range.
Just straight up, there's no rhyming, just fucking yelling.
We released a song not long ago, which was just called
System of a Down was popular.
Yeah.
God. No, okay. British related questions.
Tea.
Do
you drink tea a lot?
I like tea.
I do.
I don't like tea.
I love tea.
So what made me tea is it's very we drink tea a lot. It's like the nation's sort of pastime. It is like one of our drinks to drink. It's kind of 50-50 though. You either love it or you hate it. It's really but there's so many different tea bag brands and stuff. Everyone argues about it.
Being someone that doesn't drink it, it confuses me so much. Like, what? It's tea.
Some of them taste like shit. Some of them taste like shit. Some of them taste like cigarette ash. Some of them taste really nice. But what I found out was really cool. So when you guys in the US go out to get essentials, so essential food and stuff. What do you call essential food?
Like the essentials work, like just grocery store items, like the main food.
Yeah. So what though?
Well,
because I've got a theory. So like
crumpets.
Like a couple. I'll give it.
Like things that we grab. Okay, eggs, or I don't really drink milk, but that, or bread, or
salad helpings, water.
Yeah.
Okay, so when COVID became a thing, we could only.
I know where you're going with this.
I hate this. So we can only go out for essential shopping, And in the UK, essential shopping is bread and milk. Like, that's like what we consider, if we only had like £1 to live on for a week or something, we get bread and milk, because obviously water is free. And so the only time I ever know anybody in the UK that drink milk is when they have it in tea. So the UK is that obsessed. Yeah, shut up. The UK is that obsessed with tea. The UK is that obsessed with tea that when it became a global pandemic, they were like, everybody stay at home. But if you want a brew, knock yourself out. Like, you could still go out and get that to make a brew. Like, I think, so the UK is like, it's that obsessed with tea. It is really that bad here.
I thought you were going to say about the toilet roll thing.
I think that was everywhere.
Toilet paper was definitely a crisis over here.
Yeah.
We had that bad.
Yeah, everybody poops, Kane. Not everybody drinks tea.
In fact, a cold glass. Me and Kane have experience with milk. Like, the best drink you can have when you come in from a night out is just a cold glass of milk.
It genuinely is impressive. It sorts you out.
It soothes the soul. Like,
I remember coming back from a night out with Alex, and then we were doing shots of milk. And we were like, well, this is the best way to get sober shots of milk. Not shots of alcohol, shots of milk. It was brilliant, honestly. I recommend it.
Yeah, I think you guys drink more milk than us. Well,
we have the lactose problem.
Well, that too, but I feel like America's more like, if we're going hard in dairy, we go hard on fucking cheese.
Yeah. I mean, we do that as well.
If you look at cantaloupe the wrong way, we pour cheese on it. Like, it's unhealthy.
We're not that bad here, but the UK and tea is definitely, it's probably like 90% of the population drinks tea, like, religiously. I'll have me and Kane will drink brews all day long. My whole family drinks tea. It's like a rite of passage. Like, once you hit 8 or 9 years old, you have your first brew, and it's like that determines whether you're a British person or just like a degenerate.
I'm a degenerate.
Chains there with this or no?
We have. We don't have chains for tea. We have obviously coffee chains. We have Starbucks and stuff. It's more coffee though. The only time you can nail tea is if you're making it at home. If you get a tea from somewhere else, it just tastes like shit. Like you can't guarantee him like a
yeah. To be fair, sorry, I was gonna say like cheese is just hard milk, innit? So like you're not like like I was just thinking like you guys love cheese in Canada. Well, it's just hard milk for us. Like,
not even from Canada, bro.
Yeah, they're not even from Canada. Like,
You're saying we like cheese boners? Yes, we do.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Fucking love them.
Killing babies and cheese boners. This is a hell of an episode.
I got funny.
That's a new song.
That is your title though.
Yes, babies and cheese. Yeah. Oh, and Hitler's favorite holiday.
That is a hell of a thumbnail. That is a hell of a thumbnail.
Yeah, I might have to.
Okay, before we get back to like the good stuff.
Yeah,
I have another funny
musicians.
One.
I feel bad.
I have another
this is the good stuff. If you're watching this and you're expecting better, leave. Like this is the good stuff.
Clips for the weekly episode to hype people.
No, we have many clips for this one already.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's stupid, but as a sports fan, if you go into a certain pub and there's a soccer like thing going on,
footy, they call it footy.
Do you get like bullied and shit if you like Manchester or somebody else like?
Fucking bullied! That's like the nicest way of saying it. People get killed over football teams. They get actually stabbed. Like, so Kane's from Fleetwood, which is a town about 20-minute drive away from us. Like, really not far. Like, you'll get a bus to go and see him and stuff. There's a football field in Fleetwood. And I remember getting on the bus once and there was crowds and crowds of people outside. And then there was like more police than people because that's how fucking rough it gets here. Like football hooligans are a thing. There's people who just go to football games to fight. They don't give a fuck about who it is. They'll just go and fight. It's the stupidest thing in the fucking world.
I feel like we're domesticated compared to the UK with sports.
Yo.
They go hard.
Yeah, no, we're apes. Yeah, we're apes. It's disgusting. Football is aggressive. Like tea and football.
I remember trying to explain football to you that gig when we did that acoustic show in Darwin, and there was that game on the TV, and you hate football, so I was trying to explain it to you, and I was just kept commentating over it, and you were just like, "Shut the fuck up!
Shut the fuck up! I don't care about football. Like, it's like one of those things.
Yeah. Like we don't like football, but me and Alex will play so much FIFA, mainly because
I do love a game of football.
Oh yeah, a good game of FIFA sorts the soul out. But
to be fair, a good game of FIFA doesn't exist.
Soul out.
A game
good
of
and
FIFA
in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Shit.
So does anyone have a team in like that they like to follow in Premier League or?
I follow Manchester City, but before I get like a lot of abuse for being a glorious supporter, I supported them before they were good. So, anyone in the comments, go away.
That's like me with my band.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're still not good.
Yeah. But yeah, what was the actual question about football? So it's through the pub.
Yeah, like is it basically as aggressive as is you go in and you're basically like dead if you're rocking like
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I think it depends on the game. It depends where you are as well. If you go to like a Manchester pub, a Manchester game in a Manchester pub wearing like a Liverpool shirt, I think you're
like certain pubs have certain teams. So like if you go to like a Manchester United pub in a Manchester City shirt, you're not coming out of that pub alive. Like
it gets pretty aggressive. It does get pretty aggressive. It's fucking stupid. It's the stupidest thing. But yeah.
Wow, I thought we were bad. Please.
No, I've heard. I mean, not that I've been over there, but I've heard the stuff of stories that there's been some. Actually, they did like a 30 for 30 on one, didn't they, on ESPN or something?
Probably.
I don't know.
I mean, Ireland has a city called Stab City anyway, so.
But yeah, exactly. We're not painting the UK in a pretty good light, are we?
No, I think it's fascinating. You know what? It's good.
Is.
And actually, if you have any American questions, we're here for that too.
I think the way you're asking British questions are kind of answering a lot of the questions I have about America.
So. My biggest thing is like I can't believe how big like your like for example how much more food you get in like fast food restaurants, and it's so much cheaper as well.
Yeah, that is something I've heard of. Yeah,
it's all chemicals though.
Well, that or
Well,
we have it's a lot of it's government subsidies too. So like, there's a lot of things that get like a kickback from the government to the farmers, and I think that's why it's like, oh yeah, of course we'll get a potato subsidy. We'll chuck in like 3 more potatoes worth of fries.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. One of my big questions is, so like for us driving probably more than 2-3 hours is kind of like a day out for us. Like, so if we drove to like Manchester, which is like an hour and 20 minutes away or something, that's like going for a day out. Like you kind of plan for that. You don't just kind of really do it on a whim or anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really the same for you though, is it? Because obviously America is such a bigger place that like an hour drive is usually just like someone's commute to work. So
Yeah.
what's the deal there? Like what's like the furthest, when does something become kind of too far for you to sort of, you know, like say if you're buying something, you're like, oh, we'll go pick it up, it's only an hour away, or is it like,
Yeah.
well, it's more than 6 hours, so I might want to just maybe bring a drink with me.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say, because we live in Vermont and there's stuff in our area. We're in like the southern part of the state, but to go to like maybe where like there's bigger malls and stuff, like Albany, New York, for example, that's about an hour and 45 minutes away. So that's like something we would do for the day. Like, yeah, just go down there, a couple stores, come back. It seems like 2 hours is kind of like that limit where it's like, all right, that's just a quick jaunt. Anything longer than that, it's kind of like a day trip where you're doing the weekend. Like we're 3 hours from Boston, for example.
Right.
So yeah, I've done a day trip down there, but we also, you could say you could stay overnight. That'd be kind of the way to look at it. But yeah, it's weird. Like anything that's like even like 4 to 6, it's longer, but it's not too bad. A real like road trip is until like you're hitting like 8+. You know,
yeah, all right, yeah.
sometimes
It's kind of the same then, I guess.
like to Florida, you know, for like a vacation.
Yeah,
that's like a 24-hour straight drive.
I'm from New Jersey, and that's like a 4-hour drive, and we leave like at fucking noon and get there at 4. Yeah, okay, cool, we're here. Like, but like you said, that's like 8 hours. That's like, oh shit, you know, this is gonna be a long trip.
Yeah.
Like the furthest we've driven for a show is I think 9 hours, and we went there the day before. Spent that day kind of recovering from the drive, did the show after.
Different country.
Well, yeah, it was. We were going from the UK to the top end of Scotland, so it was through countries and stuff.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's weird because like we forget, because obviously we're used to the UK, and it's like, well, it's a big place because we live here and stuff. But the UK is like, I think like smaller than Florida or something. Like the UK is tiny; it's really small, you know. So it's weird seeing like, you know, people sort of like the size difference of traveling and like how like one of your states is bigger than our country and things like that. Like it is just a bit of a weird one. But
no, it's pretty wild. We're one of the smaller states, but yeah, like there's like New York's pretty big, or Maine, like physically wise.
Unfortunately, and I'll probably get hate in the comments, but we like to flex too much. We like to be like, hey, look at us.
Big.
We beat you guys. It's like,
yeah, definitely.
Fuck up.
To be fair though, I think like a lot of our questions get answered because there's a lot more like, you know, like US TV shows and stuff as well. But as long as like that sort of stuff really isn't like super caricaturized, then we probably kind of have a better grasp on the US than you guys do on the UK.
That's valid.
You know what's interesting about your TV shows, especially reality shows? Everybody's everybody's so nice. Like the baking show, like they're like, oh my god, like you did so good. And then like here it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Your
but you got to remember we do have Gordon Ramsay.
That's
so
yeah. And like British Bake Off and stuff is filmed in like the richest part of the country.
Yeah.
You did that like in this town, like literally people would be stabbing each other over flour. What I've noticed about TV shows though, because I watch like a shitload of Kitchen Nightmares and a shitload of like Hotel Hell and stuff like that.
Me too.
The US version and the UK version, obviously it's filmed one's in the US and one's in the UK, but the editing is so different. It's insane. Like if you watch the US version, it's all like the quick cuts and like loads of like dramatic music and like repeating swear words and stuff like that. You watch the UK version, it's like they'll film like birds to open it. They'll be like, oh, there's a little pub just on the side of the town. And then you'll just see like some old woman walk past, and then Gordon Ramsay will be like shaking everybody's hands and stuff. And he goes to the US and he's like, fuck you! Like that's the entire show, you know what I mean? So it's like that.
Oh, it really is.
It's insane. I never noticed until I was binging Kitchen Nightmares. I didn't realize how weird the editing was, but like it's fucking insane. Any US show being edited is like someone on crack is editing it, and then you watch the UK version, it's like they're just asleep for the whole thing.
It's the lack of attention. Yeah. We have so many things that are like at us. So it's like, a cat, squirrel. Like
I agree. Yeah. I watched one on Hulu that was like one of his like French shows. I'm like, what the fuck? This is so calm. It's like a 2-hour show. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, it's it's like boring.
Do you guys have Coronation Street? Like, can you stream Coronation Street or Emmerdale? No, because like, think about it. No,
okay, so what's that? Break it down. Slow down. Was that Coronation Street?
You don't know what Coronation Street is?
No.
Where's the leave button? Really? Like, is this a joke?
No, Coronation Street is just a British thing. It's just...
No, I know that, but like, I thought it would be streamed over there somewhere.
You could probably find it if you go on like BBC or something.
It's gonna sound. If we explain it, it's like gonna sound so bleak.
Yeah, it's a soap opera.
Oh, okay.
It's just like people from Manchester. It's on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Twice on Monday, twice on Friday, once on Wednesday. 7:30, 8:30. Yeah.
You can watch it then because ITV has catch up, so you could find it. You just need to go on ITV. It's like BBC iPlayer.
I mean, I will say they have better shows than we do.
I mean,
it's like it's when you put like The Office UK and The Office US together. Obviously, The Office US is way better in every.
I prefer the UK one, you know.
Nah, never. Mainly because the cast in the US one is like impeccable. It's perfect.
Yeah, well, Ricky Gervais is a genius, man.
Yeah.
He wrote both of them, didn't he?
He did write.
If you wanted a show that really shows off like fucking like how British certain parts of this country can be and stuff, you need to watch a show called This Country.
Oh no!
It's on BBC. It's on BBC iPlayer. It's called This Country. It's 3 seasons long, and it's fucking incredible. It's about this little town in the Cotswolds, which is like a small village in like the West Midlands.
Okay.
Like a really small town, like probably a 5-minute drive through the whole place. And it's just these two people just existing in that village and like what they get up to. But like, it's probably like one of the most British things because it just shows, how they talk, what certain people like do for jobs and like how we consume things and how like, we all like eat dinner in front of the TV and stuff like that. Like, definitely, if you want like an eye opener to like British culture, I think that's something you should definitely watch. It's more like on the.
Sorry, Mondak. I was just going to say, know how you said about Vicar of Dibley? It's like that, but so much more explicit and a little bit more rude. So you probably, it's
fucking incredible. There's this joke on it where
what I notice about your shows, like you guys are like so free, like nudity and F words. It's like here, it's like no, you can't do that. But over there, it's like they say anything. It's like we must protect baby Jesus, RJ. Protect Jesus.
The normality.
Yeah, like a lot of our like swear words and stuff. I think there's this weird like flip where say stuff that we'd say kind of as like a passing sort of phrase would probably like actually be a verbal attack to someone in the US.
Yeah,
like we just say, obviously like just the culture is like so different that like we can say certain words that you guys have classed as swear words and stuff, and we'll just say them.
I mean,
isn't the C word like the most probably noticeable difference? Like you guys should say is like passing.
Cunt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but here that's probably the equivalent of if you take the N word, then the next most egregious one is that. That's how like gnarly it is. It's the last 5 years.
It's a term of endearment here. Like we're like
actually, I would say fuck is more casual in the US.
Yeah, like
I can't think of a day since Kane joined the band that I haven't called him the C word. Like
I like that's how we that's how we say hello to each other. Like are we
bleeping it out now? Are we like bleeping it out now for like just like the cultural sort of difference?
Yeah, let's just be nice.
I'll just still because like
I mean it's fine because we're not calling someone that, but it's just like it's interesting. I know that's a drastic difference.
I agree with him. Mighty Python stuff would never last here if it was made here.
Yeah.
It would never last.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I mean, I die laughing. I think it's hilarious, but like if that was made here, that'd be canceled one season easily.
Yeah, pretty much. It's weird because like you guys, I think you just kind of get louder, but you don't get more aggressive. You just get louder. Whereas if we argue with someone, we'll just be like, "I will stab you," sort of thing, and then like you guys are just kind of like, "You're a big meanie," like
come at me, bro. Come at me.
Yeah. It's like that's it. We're like, no, we will cut you. Like, so there is that sort of divide there where I think we get a little bit more numb to things like that, sort of from day one. Like British primary schools are like,
oh my god,
it's just like a war field. Like you learn every swear word there. You get, I fucking like the jokes where you tell like your new best friend who's just learning swear words to go and call a teacher like a fucking bastard or something, and you'd be like, oh, it just means like I love you sort of thing. Like that's how you learn every swear word in the UK, like just on the playground when you're 8. And I think you just having a collective knowledge of it.
In your first year of like high school, first 2 years of high school, if you don't swear in every other word, then you get put so far down the pecking order for the next 3 years of school that you might as well just change school. Like,
swearing here is like it's insanely different. Like it's so different.
It's so fascinating. I love it.
It is like if you ever saw Life of Brian, you'd be like, holy shit, they're making fun of Jesus. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, we do that like
hilarious.
Exactly.
Honestly, I feel like there's times when I'm on like my Apple Music subscription, I'll actually like vibe more with the top 100 UK charts than like the US charts. And that's actually
grime is like one of the best genres in the world. You know, like Storm.
Yes, grime is highly underrated. Not that I know
grime is
on it, I'm not gonna like BS it, but when I've like just shuffled some, I'm like, dang, this stuff goes hard.
No, they got some really good bands over there. Like I know we talked earlier, but he mentioned Neck Deep and Asking Alexandria. Like I'm like, I forgot they're British. Like it's so crazy how many good bands over there.
Yeah, where else are they? They're from York, aren't they?
Yorkshire,
yeah.
Technically Saudi Arabia, but yeah.
And then Net Deep are from Wrexham, which is a town in North Wales.
I think they live in Brighton now, actually. I think they all moved up there. I remember seeing something like that. But yeah, either or England.
And there's like Burnley while she sleeps, both
Sheffield.
Yep.
I mean, you got Boston Manor that are from Blackpool.
Yeah.
It's weird. I think like US kind of create these genres and make them popular, and then like the British bands who are inspired by them just take it and just sprint headfirst with them, and then they're the ones who become the forefront of it.
It's just like a weird weird connection since we managed Boston Manor. So we mentioned Boston Manor. So at my like day job, I work at the same place as the guitarist of Boston Manor used to. Which is just a really weird connection because we're both in similar bands and we both work at exactly the same, the legit same shop. But it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was thinking about classic rock bands because you were talking about how we create genres. Yeah. I'm like, man, I think my top 3 classic rock bands are all from England. Like Sabbath and The Clash and The Stones and The Beatles and Zeppelin. It's like crazy.
Yeah, we just don't like, we kind of let you guys come up with the idea. And then we just take from every band that you guys bring out, and we're like, all right, we'll just do all this but better.
And then we did it first, duh.
Yeah. So like,
you brought it out. Like, to be fair, like you brought it out, and we just listened to it and be like, that's good. And then we've just been like, we've had like all of them to put together rather than one band. So to be fair, like, yeah.
No, honestly, outside of a few acts, I feel like, especially in the last, well, you guys have been doing it for longer in the last 50 years, but Canada in the last 10, I feel like we'll create something and then Canada and England like perfect it.
I think Australia are worth mentioning as well. Like,
do they do Aussies?
Australia with the metal stuff, Australia is mad.
Yeah, like Parkway, Amity,
and the pop punk, the new pop punk, like Australian pop punk bands are
stuck out from Australia are insane.
Isn't Belmont from Australia?
Again,
I'm not sure that Belmont. I thought they were US.
Possibly, yeah. But then you got to think about it this way. Like, yes, there's these good bands, but like, who's the biggest band in the world? Tell me.
What?
Queen. I don't know, like the Beatles. Queen, the Beatles.
Where are Queen from?
Yeah. The UK.
Exactly. There you go. Boom.
I don't know, because like you could argue like
Go on.
You could argue like Metallica or something.
Following here.
Oh yeah.
What's weird is like
me and Alex were talking about it the other night. We were like, is there
no. You were talking about it, and I was just laughing at you.
No, I was right. So I said to Alex, I was like, how far can you actually push music? Like, is there any way of being able to push music so far that you can kind of like get to the point where Queen is like maybe Ice Nine Kills for us? Like, Ice Nine Kills are a metalcore band. They're not massive. They're not like Bullet from the Valentine, but they're down there. They're like, oh shit, yeah, I know who they are. But like, is there any way to like get to a point where you're so big that that's the case? And me and Alex were kind of like, it's so easily dismissible music nowadays that you can't just like. Obviously, Queen went through tapes and tapes and tapes, and like no matter what, I don't think there's any way someone's going to be able to be like, oh yeah, we've got to that level because Queen were just.
It's because like music's so disposable now. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Realistically, like whenever you hear about a band, like how often do you actually go and buy something of them or something like that, or do you just pay a subscription every month for like Apple Music or Spotify and listen to them on there? Like,
yeah, and back in the day when Queen were playing, everyone was lining up outside to like just meet.
You like
them.
Queen, Ken?
Say again. No, I'm just making a point, sweetheart.
My dad met them before they were like big. Just,
really?
What was
wasn't your dad in? Oh wait, no, that's someone who came to our gig and someone thought your dad was in that band.
Oh God! Right, so do we tell that story? Right, so my dad growing up was in like just in a band, just played like locally, like random bits of covers and stuff.
What band was it?
It was in a random one, but a band next to the band in the same area, like literally his best mates was Saxon.
Saxon, yeah.
And my dad could have been in, but he just didn't choose to be in it. So I got that mixed up once, trying to impress someone, and said it was because their favorite band was Sabaton, and I thought I'd kind of just went, yeah, he was in Sabaton. He wasn't in Sabaton. He wasn't even in Saxon. But,
yeah, they're Swedish.
But he had jokes on them because they believe me. So.
It was so funny. He just ran with it, and I loved it.
I was like, yeah.
His wings.
That's so funny.
Oh God,
Jesus! This is a hell of a wormhole. I love it.
Oh, this is gonna be two parts. It's gonna be like USA versus England, and then octopus stuff.